Hi again, Jay here. I've got some recommendations and some modifications for ways in which we might adapt CrossFit Linchpin's workouts for our kids. Now we're in for a treat today. I'm going to go through two workouts. I'm going to start by looking at Tuesday's September 14th workout. Now we've got 5 rounds of 1 minute's work per station, of 1 minute double unders, rest 1 minute, 1 minute burpees, rest 1 minute, 1 minute hollow rocks, rest 1 minute. Now, in terms of the complexity of these movements are almost appropriate for our children. The modification really is going to become in the volume that we give the children. Now, this would be a 30-minute workout in its entirety. Now, with our children, we're not going to be having them work out for that amount of time. Not because their capacity couldn't do it, but really their emotional maturity and their boredom. We don't want them to get bored doing workouts. We want it to be fun, engaging, quick, snappy. So really the modifications are going to be a reduced amount of time and then some slight tweaks to the movements. So for our advanced kids, we've got 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And we've got skipping, depending on where your child is at with their skipping. Now, my children, they can't do double unders yet, so they'll just be doing single unders. But I do know children of their age that can do double unders. So if you have those children, by all means, get them to do double unders. Burpees, and really this is where we see some adaptation to the workout. So the hollow rock is a dynamic movement where they're holding that nice hollow position but with the rock motion there. So we've got the dynamic part of that hollow rock. Really, as with the CrossFit gymnastics would say, we want static before dynamic. So we're going to get these children with a hollow hold. Now, I think, we'd be eager to get our children onto a hollow rock. It's a bit more interesting. However, don't forget things that I've said in the previous weeks, that we have time with our children. Get them to build a really solid base of strength in those static positions, so those hollow holds there. Now, our less experienced, our no equipment option is going to be exactly the same. We've got 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Now, instead of skipping, some of your children might not be able to skip just yet. So we've got jumping jacks in place of the skipping. We've got our burpee. And then again, we've got a static hold, but as a plank hold in that nice hollow plank position. And for today's workout, for this first workout that I'm going to go through, really the 2 videos I'm going to show you are going to be the hollow hold and the plank hold. Okay, the second workout I'm going to go through today is going to be McGhee. We saw that workout come up last week in our linchpin programming. Now, AMRAP 30, far too long for our kids. 5 deadlifts, far too heavy for our kids. 13 push-ups, I would say that we're getting a bit too far in terms of volume there. 9 box jumps could be possible, but depending on how many rounds we want to do, we'll probably look at reducing that. So for our advanced kids, we're going to give them 10 rounds of 3 kettlebell deadlifts. The load has not been specified, a load where your children can move safely and consistently throughout the workout. Now, I've just switched around. If you notice on McGhee, there are more push-ups than box jumps. Obviously, we're following a date as it's a hero workout. For our kids here, I think push-ups would be a sticking point. I know for me that the push-ups get hard pretty quick. So with our kids, it will be the same. So we're going to give them lower volume of push-ups, so 5 push-ups, but still for our advanced kids, that will be 50 push-ups over the course of the workout. Just keep an eye on that. If you feel like that they're not moving consistently well in that, just drop the reps down to 3. And then again, we've reduced the number of box jumps, so 7 box jumps here. I've kept that a bit closer because I quite like the dynamic movement for our children, that impact loading that we get from doing jumps and lands. And then for our less experienced children, we've got a range of rounds, so 5 to 7, could even go down to 3. 3 angry gorillas. Now, an angry gorilla is an unloaded deadlift. We'll have a video showing you what that looks like. 5 push-up variations. I'm going to go through a few variations that we can use for a push-up when we're adapting them for our children. And 7 box jumps. And again, for our box jumps, for our advanced kids and our less experienced kids, there's no specified height. A height that they can jump safely, land safely, consistently well throughout the workout. Now, for our no equipment, I've got quite a big range for the rounds here, depending on the experience of your children. 5 to 10 rounds, 3 angry grillers, potentially could go up to 5 angry grillers if your children are more experienced. 5 push-up variation. Now again, those videos for the push-up variation will be the same as the less experienced children. Could even be that they're doing 4 push-ups. And then 7 tuck jumps. Now I know that Pat uses tuck jumps a lot to as an adaptation for wall balls or even box jumps, and same for our kids. It's what we use here. So again, we've got that 3, 5, 7 rep range, but again, you can adjust that depending on where your children are at. Okay, Jonah here is going to help take us through our hollow hold. I'm going to ask him to lie down on his back along the floor. He's going to keep his feet and ankles together, and he's going to point his toes. He's going to keep his arms stretched out above his head. He's going to lift both his feet and his shoulders off the floor, driving his lower back into the ground. He's going to hold that position, keeping his legs straight as possible. And relax. Great job. Okay, we've got Jonah here. He's going to help take us through the plank hold. I'm going to ask Jonah to turn to the side, and he's going to come down onto all fours, onto his hands and knees. From this position, he's going to make sure that his hands are underneath his shoulders. And then I'm going to ask him to step one leg back, making sure that's in a straight line. And then I'm going to ask him to take his other leg back. And now we've got him into a really nice plank position. I'm just going to ask him to push up into my hand to his shoulders and hold. What we've created here is a really nice hollow position here. So if we're doing any of our plank holds, we want to see this nice hollow plank hold there. We've got Jonah here. He's going to help take us through our kettlebell deadlift for the kids variation of McGhee. Now, the reason we're using a kettlebell is we don't want to give the children a barbell where they've got to move their body around the object. The kettlebell sits nicely, so we're going to use a sumo deadlift stance. The kettlebell's going to be placed between their legs, and we don't have to worry about the bar path as much. So you're only going to use a loaded implement, a kettlebell or a dumbbell, if your children can maintain a natural lumbar curve. So if they have the ability to maintain tension in their back. Okay. So the thing I'm going to ask Jonah to, I'm going to ask him to line his ankles up with the kettlebell. He's going to show you a side-on view. So Jonah, can you line your ankles up with the kettlebell? Keep going forwards for me. Good boy. Okay. Jonah's going to keep his legs straight, and he's going to grab the kettlebell. Now the reason that I'm asking him to do this, as you can see, he's not in a very nice position here. But then I'm going to ask him to find his angry griller back. This is really important because it shows that they have the ability to, and the awareness to find a good position. So Jonah, can you find your angry griller back for me? Excellent, and hold there. So from here, I'm going to ask Jonah, holding the kettlebell, to stand up. And then to put the kettlebell down, he's going to send his hips back, much like he does with a squat. And then he's going to slowly lower the kettlebell down to the floor. And then he's going to let go and stand. Now for multiple reps, I'm going to ask Jonah to lightly touch the floor with the kettlebell. That helps them keep tension. Jonah, can you show us 3 reps in a row, please? So straight legs, line your ankles up. Just keep your legs straight, grab the kettlebell. Find your angry griller back for me. And stand. And slowly touch the floor. Up. Good. 2 more, please. And safely put the kettlebell down. Good job, well done. Okay, for our less experienced athletes and our no equipment, we're not going to load them up for our deadlift. But we're still going to use the same movement pattern. And we call it an angry griller because, as you'll see at the bottom of the movement, the position really resembles what an angry griller would look like. That nice angry griller back. So Jonah's going to get his feet shoulder width apart. And what I like to do is I like to get him to put his hand out flat in front, with his fingertips pointing to the ground, his thumb pointing outwards, and then he's going to grab his thumb as if he was holding a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Now, to start the movement, okay, he's going to send his hips back, maintaining an angry gorilla back, the flat back. He's going to slowly lower himself down to touch the floor with his fingertips, and then he's going to stand all the way up. I'm going to show him to face the wall so we can see it from the side. So he sends his hips back, slowly lowers himself to the ground, touches the floor with his fingertip, stands all the way up while maintaining that angry gorilla back. Jonah, can you show me one more and hold at the bottom? And there you can see how he looks like that angry gorilla, that nice flat back, and then he stands all the way up. Great job. Jonah's going to take us through 3 different push-up variations. The first variation he's going to take us through is going to be our worm-up or snake-up push-up that we'd use for possibly our less experienced children. So I'm going to ask Jonah to face the wall and lie on his stomach. He's going to put his hands underneath his shoulders. He's going to try and keep his body as straight as possible. He's going to worm up to the top of a plank position. He's going to hold, and then keeping his body as straight as he can, he's going to lower himself down. Good. He's going to worm up, and then he's going to lower himself down, keeping his body as straight as possible. Jonah here is going to take us through our second push-up variation. This is going to be a box push-up. We're really looking for Jonah to keep a rigid torso, so a straight line between his shoulder, hip and ankle throughout the movement, like we would expect on a push-up on the floor. So I'm going to ask Jonah to turn around and face the box. He's going to place his hands shoulder width apart on the box, and he's going to step his feet out, step his feet back. He's going to lower himself down just like he did for the first variation, elbows back, chest touches the box, and then he's going to push straight up to the top of that plank position as if he was on the floor. Can you show me 3 reps in a row, Jonah? Now, I would suggest only doing this variation if your children have the ability to maintain that straight line throughout the push-up through. One more for me, Jonah. And thank you very much. Good job. Okay, so Jonah's going to take us through our third push-up variation, and that's just the full push-up. I'm going to ask him to face the wall for me. Jonah, can you lie down on your stomach with your hands beneath your shoulders? Okay, elbows out of touch. Good boy. So keeping his body as tight as he possibly can in a straight line, he's going to push himself up to the top of the push-up. He's going to keep his body in a straight line, lower himself down. Great. Can you do 3 in a row, please, Jonah? Mm-hmm. Good, and rest there. Great. There are 3 push-up variations that you can use for the McGhee workout. Okay, we have Jonah. He's going to help take us through the box jump. The first thing we need to establish is where his feet go. So to do that, I'm going to ask him to jump up and down and then shout freeze. Jonah, can you jump up and down for me? Freeze! As you can see, shouting freeze, his feet land in a really good position to jump from, directly underneath his hips. I'm going to bring the box just in front of Jonah. Okay, he's going to establish that jump position again. As he jumps, he's going to try and keep his knees out. As he lands, he's going to land with his knees tracking his toes. Okay, jump up for me, Jonah, and hold the landing. As he holds the landing, and then he's going to stand all the way up. Great job. He's going to step down. Can you show me 2 in a row, please, Jonah? Good job. Well done. Okay, Jonah's going to help take us through what we would use for our less experienced athletes. Now, we wouldn't have them jumping on a box like Jonah did for the advanced option. What we'd have is just have them jumping onto a lower target. So I've just stacked up a couple of bumper plates here, but thinking about the same points of performance. So Jonah's going to jump with his feet below his hips, in line with his hips. He's also going to keep his knees out, and then his knees are going to track his toes on the landing. He's going to jump, land and hold for me. And then he'll stand all the way up to finish. Step down, Jonah. Can you show 2 in a row that height? So our points of performance, you go and I'll talk. Our points of performance are still the same no matter how high the box jump is. Great. Our last variation, If you have no equipment at all, it's going to be a tuck jump. Now, again, our feet are going to be in the same position. As we land, after the tuck jump, we're still going to want our knees tracking our toes. We're just going to bring our knees up to our chest as high as we can. Let me just move these plates for you. Okay, Joanna, can you show us the tuck jump, please? Good, and can you show us one more, please? Just in summary, for today's workouts, for both options, just err on the side of caution with the amount of volume that you give your children. Make sure that if you are hitting the 10 rounds, the children have been doing CrossFit Kids for a long time. They're really aware of how to maintain their movement throughout the workout. And if you're loading your children, just make sure they've earned the right to be loaded. Make sure that they can maintain really solid mechanics throughout the movement and throughout the whole workout. You know, it's okay to keep your children unloaded with that angry gorilla deadlift for years and years, getting a really good foundation in the movement pattern before you give them any load. Have fun with these workouts, guys.